All right, so here's a front view of you. And I'm just going to play it over and over again to be the same shot looped. So you have a little bit of an over cross right there with the first right step right here. You cross over, which is good, but you're over exaggerating it. Just put one foot in front of the other will be good enough. All you're trying to do is get the leg out of the way and then put the ball in that space, which you do a good job of. You bring the ball back on top of the leg, on top of the foot, which is what we teach here. Now, we're trying to keep the ball behind the head, right? So let's just follow the ball. So the ball is going from here to here. So I'm just following the center of the ball. See how it drops straight down right there? See how it's right here? And then you slide in front of yourself. So right here, this foot here is getting ready to go here. So you're sliding into the swing, which is why the ball is going over here. Okay? Self protection right there. So that you don't bang yourself in the leg. If it came straight down that line, you'd be taking your leg out from underneath you right now, okay? So we can't do that. The other thing that we're seeing going on here is the head move. See it? And then there's your shoulders rotating around. This shoulder here is now the back shoulder, and that shoulder's in front, isn't it? So when you do that, where does that say the ball wants to go? It wants to go. It wants to go this way, doesn't it? Okay, that's the direction of the momentum. Is this way, and then but that's not where you want to go, is it? You're trying to go this way. So this rotation, this over rotation right here, is getting in the way of success. And really, what we want that shoulder to do is go this way. I don't mind it going up, but I don't want it to go around. And I want it to stay in front. So you see your arm. Now right here, your shoulders are now moving your arm for you. See it? See, your arm really isn't moving, is it? It's being moved. Okay? And that's what I was telling you about earlier. Right in there. See right there, the arm is moving. Right here, it's moving. It looks like it's moving to the inside, but it really isn't. It's your body that's moving. And here you go. There's the step that's going in front of. See, this step right here went a little bit to the left, as we see it on the screen, right in reality. And now you got this leg in the way of your swing, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but this leg here does it as well. If this leg here went in front and this leg here cleared out, then we could come straight down and we would be out of harm's way and life would be good and, you know, doo-dah, 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 right? But we can't do that from that position. And that doesn't mean it has to be that way. And there's a lot of ways to skin the cat, okay? But this is what's going on. And when you see what goes on, this move right here is kind of a, my guess this move here is a direct result of that slide position. Because you got established here first, didn't you? So this is responding to that move. That's the way the dynamic works. If you do this, then I'm going to do that. If you do that, then this is what's going to happen next. And then next is going to create the final, okay? So every spot that we go to affects what's going to happen after that. And the body is self-preserving. It's not going to let you hurt it. Not at least not in one shot. Okay? That ball is not going to come underneath your foot. You're not going to let it. That doesn't mean it may not graze your ankle from time to time, but it's not going to go in the center of your leg. Your body is not going to let that happen. Okay? So what it does is it puts that loop in it. It gets out, and then this move right here with the shoulders is the compensation, and then this move right here. See how your hand's on top of the ball right there? It's in release mode, so the ball is revving coming off your hand. You do a really good job of delivering the ball to the lane. Although you are trying to lift it right there. Your elbow comes to the inside. So you got a lot of good things. Your body angle looks pretty good right here. That angle looks good. Your knee bend looks okay. Want to see the back foot stay on the floor or at least a little closer to the floor. I don't want you getting caught up in that move right there. Release and kick. See it? Because that's going to affect the energy. You're going to get more, you're going to get less. You're going to get more, you're going to get less. Consistency is the name of the game, and we don't want to kick. And I don't want you trying to lift with your fingers. Turn with your hand, yes, but don't lift with the fingers. That's against gravity. Okay, turning with the hand, unloading with the hand works with gravity. And right here, you're in the classic position. The hand's wide open. The arm is pretty straight, actually. In conjunction with your angle of attack, it looks like it's going in the right direction, really. So again, we bring it down in that line. It looks like it wants to go right down where we're looking, doesn't it? Okay. So I wouldn't say you're really wrapping it behind your head. Is it right behind your head? No. But you got really good angle here. So having the head to this side is not the worst thing in the world, as long as your arm isn't going over here. Okay. And your arm is actually quite straight, isn't it? Okay. We might even be able to adjust it a little bit with this balance arm. Your posture through there is very good. You got your head up, your chin's up. Your back angle is real nice. You don't move up down. So you're not going like this, but you are going like this. So you're more of a door on a hinge than you are a roller coaster. Okay. So how are we going to keep? I think there's two things that we want to try to accomplish today. Number one is going to be this crossover step. We're going to cut that down a little bit so that you don't get all the way over there. Just put this foot in front of the other foot. I would say see, he's got it moving, but he's kind of on the other side of you. He's not quite over as far. But you still see he's got good angle here, so the ball stays underneath his head, which is what we're after. Again, we're just trying to make the ball light. And keeping the ball close to the center of gravity of the body is how it stays the lightest. Okay? And it's on top of the leg, on top of the foot. So the leg has got it. Okay, so there's his version of the same thing, but you see his balance arm is more off to this side as opposed to yours being all the way over here. Doesn't make him right and you wrong. It just means that we could maybe tweak it a little bit in this regard. Because a lot of times this has a direct result of where this goes. And he's going to move his head. But see the shoulder? See the shoulder move this way? Like I was telling you before, it moves this way. Okay? And that keeps everything on a pretty straight line, doesn't it? So as much as he hooks the ball, and God knows he hooks as much as anybody. See how the swing gets inside? That's what we want to be. And here's your release mode, and your shoulder collapses down, but it does it in a way where it gets too far in front. And that's the other part that we want to fix. We don't want that shoulder to get that far in front of this shoulder. If anything, I'd rather see it not get in front at all. So again, you can see a lot more of his shoulder in here than we do of yours right here. Fagan, you kind of remind me of Fagan. Now there's the crossover step that I'm looking for. And this part right here, you guys look like almost like two peas in a pod there. So what's the difference? You see a difference between you and him right now? That excellent observation. This shoulder here is more inside than this one here is, isn't it? Very much so. So again, that could be the placement of this arm because it is attached to the shoulder. Okay, but his arm is kind of dangling in the same spot as yours, isn't it? But his shoulder is certainly way further to the right than what yours is in relationship to the head. Significantly, isn't it? Okay. So his ball pretty much takes on the same line. See where yours is right there? So it is a little bit to the inside. And now it goes right there. That's that shoulder getting it out of harm's way. Those shoulders are actually getting you in a better position than what you are in right here. Because right now, you bring that ball straight down, you're going to take your leg out. Straight down, okay? And he swings a little bit to the outside of his pivot foot right here, doesn't he? Slides just a little bit this way, and you're sliding just a little bit that way. So again, a small little inch here, 2 inches there kind of things, isn't it? Okay? So, again, going back to the beginning, crossover step is going to be the first one. That's your first move. So again, I want it to be open like you've got that, but we don't have to get all the way over and try to trip ourselves. Not that you're trying to trip yourself. I know you're not. But it kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Okay. But the timing of when you do that is right on. The rhythm of it is right on. We've just got to get that step more in front of as opposed to crossing over too much. TOO, 2. Okay, if TOO is in the sentence, you got a problem. It's too fast, it's too slow, it's too hot, it's too cold. Okay, it's too far left, it's too far right. We don't ever say it's too just right, do we? Okay, it's just right. Okay, so we're looking for the just right. And again, right there, you're position A, position A. I mean, almost, like I say, you look like two peas in a pod there. His back bend may be a little bit greater than yours, but he's taller than you are. His arms are probably a little longer than yours are, too. But he does a real good job of not moving his head, doesn't he? Side to side, there's no head movement. But his shoulders are rotating. And he's doing a good job of keeping his elbow to the inside. And you can see his head is peeking through on this side, isn't it? You're close, but you're not quite there. Okay? And usually I would say that's pretty good, but I think you can do it better. I know you're going to do it better. Okay? There's no doubt in my mind you're going to do that better. But this is the part that we'll probably attack towards the end of the day. Okay? If we get there at all. So again, right here we're going to work on the crossover step and then try not to get that shoulder so far in front. And we can do it by controlling this balance arm, I guess. Or again, just let the arm swing itself. I'm trying to think. Well, Fake is the only one that I know really does it that way, which is why I picked him. So we've got to keep the chin to the right of the shoulder. I guess I'm just looking for something that'll help you realize where good is and where good isn't while you're doing it. Okay? And it's not like I want you to be looking at your shoulder, but right now I do want you looking at your shoulder. Okay? Or at least getting some sort of peripheral visual of it, okay? Try to keep it this way. Okay? And also try to make this move right here. Okay? So when we make this move right here, it turns that shoulder in. Feel it? And now when this arm clears out, you want to clear out so that that shoulder stays in. So swim for me. There you go. Now the shoulder stays in. Okay? Now, I don't know that that's what he does, but he's just really quiet through here. And that's a good trait of his. Being quiet is very important. Again, straight crossover step, drop the ball into it. Okay, so again, he's got his shoulder to the outside of his head. His backswing's not as high as yours. Okay. But you see how his arm, see that arm position right there? You can see how he's very specific about that. And then when he clears out, he keeps it in that position and then the shoulder stays in. Okay? If the shoulder stays in, then this one will drop under. Instead of going around, we'll have a high-low. And that's what we're looking for, is kind of like a bicycle. Okay? It's going to go like that as opposed to a merry-go-round that goes like this. Okay? So high-low is what we're looking for. But again, the arm moves independently of the shoulder. Okay, so even though the shoulder is going high, that doesn't mean the arm is. Doesn't mean it can't. It just doesn't mean it has to. Okay, all we're interested in is the location of that shoulder. And he's going to be, again, he's peeking on the inside, isn't he? Okay. And you probably will too, so long as your head doesn't move quite that much. If we keep our head right there and we finish off the shot with just the arm, you're going to be in really good position. In your good shots, you're probably closer to resembling that than you were on this specific shot. Okay, so I mean we got several shots of you, and I don't know if they're all the same one. Let's look at a couple more of them, see what it looks like. Well, you're consistent with that move, aren't you? I'll give you credit for that. It's too bad it's the wrong move. But that just means that when you get it, you're going to do it consistently. So look at that head getting ready to really move a lot. And this one looks like it's really getting ready to move. Yep. Well, I'd say you're pretty consistent, so again, if I think we make those two changes, we're going to have you well on your way to getting a lot better really fast. Because your consistency level will go up, and your good shots are really, really good. So it's just more a matter of how am I going to make more good shots. And if you're replacing a bad shot with a good shot, I'm going to venture to say score goes up. Don't you? Okay. I mean, it kind of stands to reason. Okay. That doesn't mean it's going to hold true 100%, but nothing ever does. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on our push, our crossover step, and the position of that left arm. Those are the two things at the beginning that we're going to work on for the next, I don't know, half hour to an hour, and see if we can get that some sort of consistency that says I got a feel for it, and if we can get that far along, then the last half hour we'll work on the finish at the end and try to get those shoulders to not over rotate. Or maybe we won't even have to. Maybe it'll self-correct. You never know. Okay? It happens.